Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm None of Your Business, aka Bizcoon, and today we are finally reacting to a new Shoe0nHead video that just dropped entitled, "Is This the Average Male Fantasy?" Now, for those that don't know, Shoe0nHead, otherwise known as the Commie Mommy, is a self-proclaimed socialist and center-left commentator who, as of recently, has been making videos about the downfall of the dating scene, at least here in the US. And her previous video, she was discussing the dark truth about USAID, what neither Democrats nor Republicans wanted you to know. I was going to make a demo reaction to that video, but it was a bit too late for that. So I decided that it's better that I start with a fresh video here. Which, for me at least, I am considering this to be a rite of passage. A lot of VTubers react to Shoe0nHead, and this is something that even she has noticed. So I am going to do that as well. I am going to jump on the bandwagon and see how well it sticks. But regarding Shoe0nHead, she tends to be pretty controversial because even though she is a self-proclaimed leftist, a lot of people on the far left accuse her of being the far right, simply because she dares to criticize both sides of the spectrum. Which obviously is a big no-no when it comes to the extremes, where you're only allowed to criticize the other side. But regardless of that, let me do this real quick and then we will get started. But before we get started, make sure you guys like and subscribe, not only to me, but to Shoe here. But make sure you watch her original video before watching my video so that you can show your support. I am simply here to provide commentary and be transformative. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and see what the average male fantasy is. Because as a biological male myself, I do have quote-unquote fantasies that I've hinted at in a previous video that I did reacting to Nuxandor and the BB-Nose situation. I had mentioned in that video that the only way that I'll be able to tell you guys about how I feel is if my channel gets popular enough. So if you want to see that, you better like and subscribe, or else. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started.
Men, what do they want? Money? Status? Fast, expensive cars? What is the ultimate male fantasy?
That's a trick question, because I already have most of what I would like to have, but there are some other things that I would like to have as well. Unless, of course, she's talking about those fantasies, in which, like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm not telling you unless my channel gets popular enough.
Is it fame? Fortune? 3 hot chicks at once? Hell yeah, brother. No, according to men on the internet, it's something a little more simple.
Why do I feel like I've seen this anime before? I mean, I don't watch a whole lot of anime, but I feel like that I've seen this one at least somewhere.
This is literally just a fetish. I f***ing hate men so much. Men are why we can't have nice things.
Well, actually, bitches at their finest.
As I was working on an upcoming video, I made the terrible mistake of logging onto Twitter, where I saw...
No shit. Yeah, I don't have a Twitter. I don't want anything to do with most social media sites. Yeah, this YouTube channel is all I really have.
This post.
Let me read it.
As I was working on an upcoming video, I made the terrible mistake of logging onto Twitter, where I saw this...
Oh, shut up, bitch.
Post. A montage from the anime Josie, the Tiger, and the Fish, a movie about a college student who's assigned to take care of a paraplegic girl, and spoiler, eventually they fall in love. Many men were urine posting in the replies of this tweet and talking about how they wish to fall in love and would love a relationship like this, while many others, mostly women, were absolutely f***ing disgusted at this. Why would a bunch of men be fantasizing about being with a woman in a wheelchair? Seems pretty creepy and predatory, right?
Yeah. Oh, this is a perfect freeze face right here. If anyone's seen that infamous SpongeBob episode.
Also just unrealistic and problematic. Well, in this video, we are going to be talking about why so many men resonated to that clip and this movie, and why so many people are so confused as...
I think I know where they're going with this. I'm pretty sure a majority of people in the world just want a decent relationship, you know, regardless of who they are or what they look like. They just want to be able to find the one that they're looking for and just stick with that for as long as they can, even if it garners the ire of other people.
As to why. We're also going to be reading some absolutely unhinged tweets, as usual, to get to the bottom of why such a wholesome post turned into, once again, another battlefront for the ongoing, never-ending gender war. Men
Yeah, pretty much.
versus women, women versus men, the male loneliness epidemic, the female loneliness epidemic, the dealing with dating apps. Do men prefer thin women or curvy women?
Yeah. Yeah, both sides have been having their issues with regards to the dating scene, and it's no wonder that a lot of the developed world is having declining birth rates.
Brunettes or blondes? Do women like dad bods or fit men?
I would like to comment on that last one, but like I said, it's better off on a different video, depending on how popular I am. But something that I should mention is that I'm gay, and this is something I mentioned in my previous Nuxanor reaction.
Do they like beards or clean shaven? Oh yeah, that reminds me. Let's quickly get into today's sponsor, Henson Shaving.
Oh, and she's probably going to thank me for not skipping the ad, but we will see. Oh, here, we can jump ahead. Okay, is she going to thank us for not skipping the ad?
Thing about anime. I am probably the most tourist of all the tourists. Yeah, hi, I have a question. Was the upskirt shot necessary in order to advance the plot?
Yes, when someone posts a meme featuring, breasts, they're like, insert show name here. I watch it for the plot.
I watched Pokemon and Sailor Moon when I was a kid, and a few years ago I watched V-Stars on Netflix. Legoshi, best boy.
I still need to watch season 3. Yeah, if my channel gets popular enough, I might end up reacting to season 3, or even just re-reacting to the whole series.
Not a furry, by the way. And honestly, that's about it for
no comment.
my anime consumption. Unless you're counting VTubers. If you're counting VTubers, I watch a lot of anime.
Yeah, I mentioned at the beginning of the video, a lot of VTubers react to her content, and hopefully one day I'll be no exception.
But because of this clip going viral, I watched Josie the Tiger and the Fish, and, well, I thought it was a good movie. I recommend watching it. I thought it was a really cute, good story. I only cried a little bit, and I completely understood what the tweet meant by calling it the average male fantasy. So, what was wrong with it?
I don't think this is my fantasy. Like I said, it's none of your business at the moment.
Why did this clip go so viral in such a negative way? Why were thousands of people angry at this post? Well, let us dilly-dally no longer and read some of these angry replies to get a better understanding of what the issue is, shall we? Wholesome male fantasy, and it's fetishizing a disabled girl for him to control. Oh no. They think, oh god, why? Always vulnerable.
I wonder what their feelings are on the relationship between Bonnie and Joe Swanson from Family Guy. Oh! The bee is ruining my life!
Always happy, always needs you, pretty perverted. Where are these fan fictions coming from? There are like hundreds of tweets just like this. Why did they see a cute montage of a happy couple, a man and a woman happy, together? I know, unheard of. Why did they see that and then immediately...
How have I never heard of this? The only thing that I've heard is that it's unheard of.
Come to these conclusions. Like, as someone who actually watched the movie, Josie is not always happy, and she's absolutely not portrayed as some, like, vulnerable, ooh-woo, sex doll waifu.
Kawaii.
She's boisterous, she kind of has a foul mouth, she's very sassy and headstrong, she like straight up calls him her servant, but she was also very depressed. She basically never left her house, she was basically a girl failure. As a former girl failure, I love to see representation in media. But they actually show her disability, like, not in a good way, like they don't romanticize it, they don't sugarcoat it. And I noticed, unlike a lot of movies, unlike a lot of romance movies, at least like the Hallmark kind, where it's like the stuffy male lead learning to live life from the quirky, cute female lead, he's already got his shit together. And she learns to live life from him. He encourages her to live her dreams. And in return, he learns to live life in a completely different way. And I thought that was really cool and sweet. Also, the animation was really good. Was that good? Have I been sleeping on anime this entire time?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, a lot of people will say that you have been. Yeah, but a lot of anime in recent days have really good animation. No, the animation budget be crazy. Can't say the same thing about Western cartoons. No, all of the adult cartoons, they're either based on the Family Guy style, or they're based on the Rick and Morty BoJack Horseman style. And children's animated shows have what are referred to as the bean smiles, although they're erroneously called the Cal Art style, even though Cal Arts is what the Ren and Stimpy creator John Kay referred to as the Disney style.
His fantasy is that she becomes permanently disabled and helplessly dependent on him, but can still make him a sandwich. Sounds about right. Oh my god. After watching the movie, these tweets are even more insane. But even putting the movie aside, just seeing that like cute montage out of context, where the fuck are they getting this? These are very clearly just two happy people. But because the caption was the average male fantasy, their mind immediately goes to the darkest, worst faith interpretation of this. The problem is these people can't see any humanity in men. They can't see any humanity in humanity in general. Average male fantasy equals girlfriend with no agency who's completely physically dependent on you and forced into blanket subservience and compliance. Sounds about right. You males are weird for fetishizing physically disabled women.
I've been wanting to make comments on each and every single one of these, but I think Shoe0nHead is doing a pretty good job at that for me.
Average male fantasy is having a physically disabled girl that they can abuse however they want. Got it.
No. My fantasy is none of your business, so you can go ahead and miss me with that shit, bitch.
Not to be that guy, I'm gonna be that guy.
That guy. That guy. I don't even remember what that's a reference to.
Vandalization of the physically disabled here is a little, dare I say, ableist? The implication here...
Yeah. Don't you think it's pretty ageist that he can't... I don't even remember the whole quote. I was trying to quote, Gumball.
That people in wheelchairs cannot find love, and if they do, the person who loves them literally just loves them because they can't run away. Weird. Weird.
Weird. Weird.
Average men can't even be nice to their healthy and normal girlfriend. What makes you think they'll be able to handle a disabled person as their lover? Whoa. Normal? What do you mean by normal?
What does this family know about normal? The only normal one here is Jack, and he's not even toilet trained.
These people are just so ableist, chat. Can you believe it? Chat? Chat? I don't even live stream. Who's chat? I'm disabled.
Who's chat? Chat. You see, whenever someone says chat, the Google automated captions assume that they're saying Chad with a D. But you guys ain't Giga Chads in the slightest. If anyone hears a Giga Chad, it's me.
Blind. So I showed this to my boyfriend. He says, I love you because you're you, and you make my days happier. So what if I have to drive you places or help you with cooking and cleaning? I would have done that anyway. Disability has nothing to do with it. I love you. Ma'am, I don't know how to tell you this, but, your boyfriend is a rapist. Sorry.
Shit. That's basically what all these bitches are implying.
You had to find out this way. You show this as fantasy because it's not true for the majority of men who participate in abuse of disabled people. No.
Shut up.
Well, the fantasy is the woman appreciates his efforts to make her happy. Stop lying and abusing women and the disabled.
How do you know that you're not talking to a woman right now? Unless you think they have internalized bitch hatred, as I've been calling it.
Your meds, schizo. You don't even know that f***ing guy. What do you mean stop abusing women and the disabled? Bitch, who are you?
No shit. Nah, yeah, they probably don't know. No, they tried to talk shit about me, I'll just accuse them of being a homophobe.
Also, the majority of men participate in abuse of disabled people. Are you okay? The majority...
Yeah, try telling that to literally anyone who isn't white.
Of men are not abusers. That is a very, very small minority of men. The majority of men are men that just wake up, take a shit, get out of bed, take a shower, go to work, come home, and wait for GTA 6 to come out.
I usually take a shower after I get home, and that's after I work out.
That is the majority of men. Men commit 95% of all rape, but okay.
That silence just now spoke volumes.
Surging into the romance section of Barnes & Noble like, attention everyone!
Yeah, sorry I paused there. It just... No. I know that Nuxanor sometimes shows off the monster fucker section of Barnes & Noble that says, hear me out. And it's literally romance novels about ladies that get into relationships with monsters.
Where is that coming from? So close, this is fetish content. Ah yes, the dirtiest, most taboo of all fetishes. A happy relationship.
No shit. Yeah, no, when I think fetish, I think the parts of deviant art.
Honestly, in 2025, that might be true. Oh, you want a wife and kids? You sick fuck. But this is literally just a perverted fantasy, LMAO. You think it's a perverted fantasy because how do I put this nicely? You are a pervert. Literally.
Spitting right there. Nah, how many of these bitches on fucking Twitter, how many of them actually sleep around for, like, just because? How many of these people likely have, like, some sort of OnlyFans account? Nah, you are the one that's contributing to guys being lonely. But of course, they don't care as long as they get that money. Nah, bitch, shut up.
Seeing a cute montage of a male and female character having fun together, being in love together, being like, rape! He's a rapist! This is a fetish! Are these people okay? Stop!
Yes. Well, here's the thing. It's only rape if, well, oh, this is, Hasten Abai here. It's only rape if it's not an Israeli woman.
Watching porn. Wait, this is a woman. Okay, stop reading Taken by the Werewolf Billionaire. Or whatever the fuck you read.
Oh.
I swear to God, some of the shit women read would make the most depraved internet gooner blush. Or so I've been told.
Oh, you gon' get in trouble. Shoe0nHead, exposed, coming to a YouTube channel near you. And it's only a matter of time before she's 100% fucked.
This is literally just a fetish. Oh.
This is literally like the nth time that somebody has said this is just a fetish. Why don't you try to write something original? I'm just saying.
Okay, listen, I'm not gonna pretend there's nobody out there who's like, she can't run away, she has no legs. I'm gonna sit here and pretend there's nobody out there who has a crippled, disabled fetish, okay? I've been on the internet for 20 years. I've been on DeviantArt.
Yep, I mentioned DeviantArt earlier, and one of the things that gets brought up more often is the morbidly obese fetish.
Seen you wouldn't believe, but the majority of people, probably most, if not all the people responding to this, do not have a cripple fetish, okay? In fact, her being in a wheelchair basically has nothing to do with it. Much like how females coom over, like, vampires or, like I said before, the billionaire werewolf.
Yes. The monster fucker hear me out section of Barnes & Noble. Maybe I should go find one of those. There's a Barnes & Noble nearby.
Fantasy. This is just the average male fantasy distilled down to its most extreme. So what is the average male fantasy? The average male fantasy is the fantasy of both men and women alike. It is simply to love and to be loved.
Yup, pretty much. To quote Avicii, life's a game made for everyone, and love is the prize. So wake me up till it's all over, because I don't want to have to deal with any of these Twitter bitches.
But more specifically, the male fantasy is to be a protector and a provider for those that they love. Put a pin in this because we are going to come back to this in a big way, trust me. The average male fantasy is being a globally known terrorist.
So, this guy would not get along with, Hasten Abai.
The average male fantasy...
Unless, of course, we're talking about the Israeli government. Or the government of India, because Lord knows, Hasten Abai thinks anyone who is against terrorism is a terrorist.
Is that a woman who isn't fat? The average male fantasy is actually job security. You know what? These guys may have a point here. Pedophile alert. Men want disabled child wives. Average male...
what is this, Iraq?
Male fantasy is a disabled child. More proof that men are pedos. That's a little girl. This is weird. So, first of all, she's literally older than the guy.
Checkmate, bitches.
The guy is 22 and she is 24. In anime years, he is practically hag maxing.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yes, she may be physically disabled, but aren't all men mentally disabled in their own special way? At least
Shit. Nah, you don't know none of that. I have undiagnosed Asperger's syndrome, so...
ones in my audience. They will freely admit this. Maybe she, the older woman, is taking advantage of this sensitive young man. Have you ever thought of that? She looks like an 11-year-old child. Where are her breasts?
Oh god, no. Frickin' now everyone's calling her a lolly. Is that what this is? Lolly, lolly, kame kawari.
First of all, really weird way to say that. She looks like a child. Show me her titties. Also, I love how, like, when anime women have huge boobs, it's disgusting, Coomer brain or whatever. But if the anime woman has small boobs, she's a child and you're a chimo.
Yeah, you're either, you're either one of those, I call them boob ladies, where they wear outfits that show, like, half of their breasts and, other things, but if they are flat-chested, I guess that just means they're lollies.
Can't fucking win. Also, if she had big boobs, they'd absolutely be like, wow, look at this sexualization of the disabled. Also,
oh, yeah, double standards. Yeah, it doesn't stop.
So, you know, like, adult women can be flat-chested, right? Like, that actually exists in real life. Like, adult human women can have small boobs. We love all titties here on the Shoe0nHead channel. All titties is good titties.
All them titties. Moo them titties. You see, there's this guy from the Boondocks named Ed Wonsley III. He was at a strip club one time. He had titties in one hand, titties on the other. He had 2 hands full of titties. That's bigger than 2 scoops of raisins.
End of story. Women fantasy. A boyfriend with depth and the loving, soft, deeply caring side of them. Men's fantasy. 12-year-old anime girl who looks and speaks like a toddler. Also notice how she's literally the shape and size of a child. Yuck.
Shut up.
Have you people ever seen a child? No, you're all childless.
Damn, girl, you went in there. Yeah, they ain't gonna have no children. I'm pretty sure a lot of them got sterilized after the election.
Silly me. She's not even that short. She's just sitting. See, like when they're laying side by side, she's like a full-grown adult woman. Why do these people look at this and immediately think of child rape? Go to therapy. And listen, I know with anime can get a little weird, right? Like, excuse me, Poo Poo Pee Pee Chan is 2,000 years old, and this is Poo Poo Pee Pee Chan. But this does not even look like a child. This looks like a cute woman. This is like a random rant, but I feel like there are no more cute women nowadays. You know what I mean? You have all like the Insta baddies, the ethos, the e-girls, the muscle mommies, the boss babes, the boy babes. But
You got... And then here we have the kami mommies.
I feel like every woman is just hot now. Which, by the way, I don't think is healthy for the male psyche whatsoever. You shouldn't wake up and be able to scroll through pictures of like the hottest woman you've ever seen in your life like 20 times before you've had like your morning cup of coffee.
I don't do any of that. I don't do that with men, and I certainly don't do that with women. When I wake up in the morning, I watch the daily Nuxanor video.
You shouldn't log in and immediately be one-shotted by 10/10s all day, as if that wouldn't make you go insane, as if that wouldn't make you crash out. Like back in the day, you'd probably see like one fine dame on your bus ride to work, and you'd think about her for 40 years until the day you die. That's how it used to be. That's how it should be. Now every woman is like a crazy, hot, unobtainable Instagram goddess with the fattest of ass. Zoomers don't know how good we had it. You go to
Yeah, when I grab a bite of that ass, and she gets the light of that truth.
a Blockbuster, and the 21-year-old cashier behind the counter would be the most adorable woman you've ever seen. No Botox, no lip filler, just pure soul, full of joy and whimsy. And now women are full of hate and SSRIs. But they're hot. They're hotter than they've ever been.
Yep, yeah, they're pumped up with all sorts of antidepressants and all that shit because they just can't handle the fact that their daddy told them no when it comes to the most obscure and miscellaneous of things. They're like, Daddy!
They're hotter and more depressed than they've ever been in history. Sad. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, anime. I didn't take my Vyvanse today, could you tell? Men's fantasy. A big titty woman with the face of a 16-year-old that is useful for cooking, cleaning, and sex. Women's fantasy. Gets treated like a queen and a man who keeps tracks of our periods so he can take care of us.
The hell? What? Why would I want to keep track of anyone's period, let alone a potential wife? And also, yeah, I was gonna comment on men's fantasy, but always leave them asking for more.
I think I speak for a lot of women here when I say our fantasies do not, in fact, include men tracking our periods. Personally, if my husband...
Yeah, that's a disturbing thing to want to keep track of. I mean, disturbing is not the right word. Odd and bizarre are definitely much better words, but to quote Double D, that's disturbing.
husband was like, honey, just a reminder you're in your luteal phase. I'm taking the kids.
Shh.
Men like to pretend they want this, and then they beat their wife when dinner isn't ready or their son when he's misbehaving.
Shut up, bitch.
First of all, I'm sorry that happened to you, but there are...
Oh, God, yeah, a lot of these, like I said, Daddy said no, and so they decided to blame it all on the entire... I should say gender, but I'm pretty sure people will be like, there is a difference between gender and sex.
In fact, good men out there. I've seen them. Some may be in this very audience. Sorry, I couldn't keep a straight face. This is the Shoe0nHead audience.
Yeah, this is the Shoe0nHead audience. It's full of VTubers.
You're all gremlins. Male fantasy equals a woman that can't run away from him. A woman that's dependent on him. Interesting. When men are involved, it's basic survival instinct to assume the worst. Men are guilty until they prove themselves innocent. You know what? I take my opinions back on free speech. I changed my mind.
Oh, Lord. Here he goes. Yep. She's not a communist with the Gucci bag, but she's still a commie mommy.
No more free speech. No more free speech until you bitches learn to behave. A woman's...
Why don't we just take away their suffrage? I mean, they've suffered enough. They don't need to... Women don't need to suffer anymore. And the suffrage just makes it worse. It makes you really feel bad for them.
Fantasy is a man who won't rape her, and a man's fantasy is raping a woman. I'm sorry, where is the rape, ma'am? Maybe that's how you...
Oh. Frickin' what is it called? Consensual non-consent where you want to be raped? But doesn't that mean that it's not rape?
You see it, because you're brainwashed to hate men. So true. I hate how... But in reality, women are the real demons here. Oh, goddammit. We just want a happy relationship. Is it so much to ask for? Yes. Yes, it is. Oh, look, more misogynistic gooner fantasy slop written by misogynistic gooner men.
Oh, look, more bitch-hatred gooner fantasy slop written by bitch-hating gooner men. No, that's how I read it. I don't like using this word anymore. It's become so diluted, and it's basically lost all meaning, like National Socialist, or Fascist, or Racist, or all the phobes. Words like this have pretty much lost all meaning in the modern day, so I just use the term bitch hatred instead. Because a lot of the people that use this word tend to be bitches themselves, that feel like that they're entitled to everything. So, like a like a Karen. I almost said cannon. No, they're not cannon. Well, they're loose cannons, if anything.
This is why 70% of anime is garbage. So, here's the thing, that, misogynistic gooner fantasy slob written by misogynistic gooner men was actually written by Saiko Tanabe.
Oh my god, this is just like the BB nose having Asmongold on his fucking chest. Oh, Lord have mercy. No, this also reminds me of, I think it's the Uncharted series. The first 3 games were directed by a woman, and when it came time to make the 4th game, she got kicked out of the project because she didn't want to force and shoehorn in gay characters. And so she got replaced by a guy who forced the gay characters in himself.
A woman wrote this story. And I feel like a very important detail everyone is sleeping on when they covered this was the fact that this is very much the female fantasy as well. A man loving you for who you are despite your flaws, literally sweeping you off your feet and carrying you around on adventures, helping you live out your dreams, face your fears, and supporting you through the good and bad times. You're going to sit here and tell me that's not the female fantasy too? Is this not the basic female fantasy? Is this not the knight in shining armor coming to rescue you and falling in love with you? Why are there so many women so mad at this? Are men now the hopeless romantics?
They're so mad because they don't have this type of relationship. I mean, I'm pretty sure she's going to comment on that, but yeah, a lot of women here, all of these bitches on Twitter, yeah, they don't have this relationship because of how bitchy they are. They lack the self-awareness to really be critical of their own behaviors and actions.
Are men now the ones yearning for a fairy tale romance? Is this why all the Disney remakes are like, she's not gonna be saved by the prince, she's a strong, independent woman?
Weird.
Meanwhile, men still want to be the prince, men still want to be the knight in shining armor. Men are like, I will save you from your monotonous 9-to-5 job. I will give you a house and babies. And women are like, no, I must be an actuarial consultant. Be gone, vile misogynist. Is that what is occurring here?
Be gone, thought.
Also, that aside, there literally is a gender-swapped version of this story called Perfect World. It is a manga.
Manga. I don't know the pitch accent.
Mango? I don't know. Do not come for me, weebs. Men will statistically leave their wives and partners the moment they find out they're disabled or have a life-threatening condition.
Yeah, keep telling yourself that.
You're right, it is a fantasy. Actually, that study was debunked by the authors themselves, who admitted they did the math wrong. It's actually not much higher, but then again, even if—
There was a study conducted about this? And they were wrong? I wonder where I've heard that before. I'm just saying, I don't know what I'm talking about.
it was. And it happens. I've seen it happen to people. It's terrible. Marriage should be through sickness and through health. But that's not really the
Through sickness, through health, through fitness and obesity.
point here. And the fact that so many people are focusing on the wheelchair part of this just proves that they just don't get it. The ones of pure mind and pure soul get it. But these fucking semen demons out here, they don't get it. But not all semen demons.
Oh.
The amount of people in comments who just don't get that men
Yep. Scoochang.
want a cute, loving girlfriend is beyond me. They call them creeps for wanting actual love and not a girl boss who only wants your money. Ah, thank you. A sane person. Hopefully the replies aren't full of people calling her a pick me. Pick me alert.
Yep, here we go. Yeah, Shoe0nHead made a video about pick-me's as well. Fucking all these bitches are like, yeah, I don't have any dick in my life, so I'm gonna talk shit about people who have dicks because they won't give it to me.
Least obvious pick me. Me, pick me please. Hope he picks you, sis. Pick me, pick me, pick me. An incel could have written this. Fuck. Why are so many VTubers either pick-me's or racist? You mean why do so many female VTubers disagree with you? Why so many aren't towing the mainstream liberal feminist NPC line? Because they can.
Yep, there was that one VTuber, Kirsha, that made some comments about the migrant crisis in the UK and how you're not allowed to talk shit about them or else you're racist. Even though a lot of these migrants are, well, first of all, they're heretics, and I can prove it using their own scripture. And second, they're causing a lot of crime and the likes. But of course, the British government doesn't want to do anything about it because it's bloody racist to want to talk about it, mate. You what, mate? Yeah, if you so much as talk shit about even one of these people, they'll arrest you. Oh, but you could talk shit about their own people, but you can't talk shit about them because it's racist.
See, the most powerful weapon women have against other women is social ostracization. You don't want to be seen as a pygmy or a racist, so you keep your mouth shut in order to survive in female social circles. But in the cases of VTubers, virtual YouTubers, they're basically anonymous. They can say anything they want. They're basically wearing a mask. They're free from the chains of the eternal HR Longhouse.
Yep, and that's exactly why I have this fucking channel with this little raccoon-ass avatar that hopefully will become a VTuber, but for now, I'm going to start out small.
But apparently even being anonymous online does not save them because they still get doxxed for simply not...
Yep. Let's see. Well, cat's out of the bag. A lot of you seen it by now. I've been doxxed. Authorities have already been informed. And you know why I've been doxxed? Because I dared to say I support men. No, that's the thing. A lot of these same VTubers tend to be a lot more center than really hard left. And as I've said before, a lot of VTubers react to Shoe0nHead, which is exactly why I'm reacting to Shoe0nHead. I consider this a rite of passage, only it won't really come into fruition until I get myself an actual model. But I'm not going to do that until I've gained a substantial following.
Hating men. Lovely. Maybe I should save this rant for a different video someday. Moving on. Men are why we can't have nice things, by the way. First of all, men make all the things.
Yeah, no, I was listening to a reaction to Rick and Morty where they went to Gazorpazorp and they were sentenced to death because Rick farted. And Summer pointed out that her yellow top was made by a guy, saying that a lot of guys make a lot of things that a lot of women take for granted.
Thank you.
The #1 pick-me, yep, the commie mommy.
Thank you. Also, I just realized it was a man saying that. It was a whole-ass man saying men are why we can't have nice things.
Yep, sounds like a lot of those bread tubers that look like Vosh for some reason. Nah, they all look, well, there's two types of male, leftist, liberal, whatever the hells. There's the ones with the child lover stash, like that one guy who made the hit piece on Wendigoon. And then there's the white guys with the bushy beards and the baseball caps that all suspiciously look like Vosh. Only I'm pretty sure most of them aren't into lolly horses.
I don't deserve this trophy. This is for you, sir. This is for you. I'm not worthy. Listen, I make women jokes. I'm very critical of feminism and propaganda aimed at women. But you will never catch me in a million years saying some like women are why we can't have nice things.
Yeah, I would never say anything like that about anybody, regardless of who they are, where they come from, or what they were born with. I mean, I might make a joke. I mean, I've been calling them bitches this whole time, but you see, the way that Riley Freeman uses bitches is that he uses it as a general term for women, and he meant no disrespect to his granddad.
I have a mom, I have female family members, I have female friends, maybe one day I'll have a daughter. Women make the world a beautiful place, and like men, can be flawed and deserve criticism, like anyone else. But there's something genuinely so cucked about people who put down their own gender or race. Oh god, race. Self-hating white people.
Yep, self-hating white people. Frickin' white bitches, and all of the Vosh lookalikes.
Get me started on self-hating white people. White people are so evil. I hate being white. White people can't dance. White people food is so gross.
Oh, you think they can't dance? I was going to say that I'll show you, but unfortunately for them, I'm half Latino.
You're not getting into Wakanda, bro. You're not getting invited to the cookout. Enough. But yeah, women were not the only ones who had a problem with this. There were a lot of men who didn't quite relate to this being the average male fantasy. It's fine to love the disabled. I didn't need to remind you that. But you glorify it? This anime is certainly Marxist propaganda. The movie is about him taking a job as her caretaker, and when he learns of her dreams, he makes it his mission to help her dreams come true. So it is Marxist propaganda to help a disabled person pursue their dream.
Okay, here we go. Now we have the exact opposite of Vosh and those guys. Now we have, you see, here on the None of Your Business channel, we're going to make fun of both sides of the political spectrum. And here, it seems that it's... the fact that they're calling it Marxist propaganda implies that they're on the right. So I don't want any of you to accuse me of being an alt-right neocon or an alt-left neo-lib. I don't believe in either of these. I am none of your business. That's who I am. I am myself. I am my own side, so you can go ahead and eat my ass.
Yeah, it's woven in. Empathy is the target of propaganda. Marxism is when girl in wheelchair. I love this. Empathy is the target of propaganda. Every piece of media that makes you feel empathy is communism. Political brain rot. If you're at the point where you see this, and you're thinking of communism, you need to log off. You are unwell. I'm sorry, but when I reproduce, I don't want a high probability of my offspring being mentally or physically retarded. We need a better class of incels whose bar is higher than the retarded.
I'm looking at this guy's profile pic. I'm assuming that's an ancient Greek statue, so I'm going to have to assume that this guy is Sparta adjacent, because when a Spartan baby is born, if it's not up to their standards, they usually throw him off a cliff.
She's not retarded, she has a spinal injury that's not genetic. Also, what is this LARP? I love how everyone is just kind of having like a normal conversation about this clip, and this guy just comes out of nowhere like, I would never put my pure white seed in such a vile creature.
Shit.
Like, you absolutely know this guy has a non-white girlfriend. They all-
This actually reminds me of this one time that my family went on vacation to West Virginia. I'm half Latino. My mom is the Latino side, and my dad is kind of a mutt. But he would be considered white by most people's standards. And now, I don't remember this ever happening, but there was this one time where we were on vacation. We went to the store at some point, and then years and years later, me and my parents are at the bar, or at a bar somewhere. And my dad relayed this story where apparently, like almost everyone at the store was very much white. And people were looking at us, according to my dad. And as he said, that he's a traitor to his people because he married a Mexican woman. Which, just some food for thought.
All these, like, I hate white people women always have white boyfriends. All these, I hate non-white people boys always have non-white girlfriends. I don't know what it is, but I've seen it too many times. I guarantee you when this man logs off of his Black Sun Roman statue Twitter account, he's clapping Latina booty.
Is it Roman? Because I made the comparison to Greece and Sparta, but if it's Roman, I'm not sure if the Romans threw their babies off of cliffs if they deemed them unworthy.
Cheeks. My fantasy is not being a simp, but okay. Fellas, is it simping to love a woman? Nah, this is not the male fantasy. That man is a beta male. If she wasn't in a wheelchair, she would leave him for Chad.
Shit.
Fellas, is it beta to love a woman? This is not my fantasy. This is some gay shit, to be honest. Fellas, is it gay?
No. As someone who is gay, it's not gay. It's just really sweet.
To love a woman? What no pussy does to a motherfucker. Brother, I've seen what pussy does to a motherfucker.
Shit. Nah, I don't intend on getting any pussy at all.
And it's far worse. The average-
Oh my god. Yeah, they don't call her the commie mommy for no reason. She has a husband that used to be a hater of hers, or at the very least a troll. And now they have a kid, and they're married.
Male fantasy is taking care of their crippled wife. I don't think I've ever had that fantasy before. I thought it was going to be about going on some quest to kill the dragon to win the princess or something. It is. That is the average male fantasy. But there are no...
I was going to make a comparison to something. Oh yeah, I was going to mention, how often do men think about the Roman Empire? Nah, men shouldn't be thinking about the Roman Empire. They should be thinking about Göbekli Tepe and the Taş Tepeler sites.
Dragons to slay. There are no princesses to save. But there is that little old lady in the grocery store who can't quite reach that top shelf. There's...
I can't reach my Czech cereal!
That heavy box the pretty girl you work with can't quite lift herself. There's that jar of tomato sauce your wife can't quite open.
Well, what about the pickle jar that the husband can't open, and so the daughter has to open it for him?
There's that Lego set your little son can't quite put together himself.
She just mentioned Legos, and I just referenced a Lego video. It looks like this is a pre-watch moment for me, although I'm not sure if it qualifies.
Or there is this paraplegic girl who wants to see the ocean. This is the Princess and the Dragon story. And despite what many are told, men do have a lot of love to give. And they want some kind of excuse or mechanism to show that love. In a world where men expressing themselves is either seen as toxic or gay. And one way of expressing that love is solving problems. Men fucking love solving problems. I don't know what it is. They also love reading Wikipedia articles. The amount
Sounds like me when I was in middle school, and even after that, I would read Wikipedia articles on linguistics-related topics. Which reminds me, I have a video idea regarding, let's say something that pertains to Indo-European mythology. But that is for much, much later down the pipeline, and I don't feel like working on it right now.
The amount of times I walked over and my husband is reading a random fucking Wikipedia article about like the world's tallest buildings or like a random battle in World War II. I didn't know if this was autism or what, but apparently it's a man thing. Anyway, yes, men love solving problems. And in a world that makes them feel useless, makes them feel like they have no purpose, men desperately feel like they need to prove their worth. They are desperately looking for a purpose in life. So it is not at all shocking to me that the modern young man is seeing a clip like this and longing for this. A lot of modern men don't have a chance to prove themselves, to make something of their lives. They don't have a chance to provide anything for anyone because they don't have anything to provide and they don't have anyone. They are doing everything their grandfathers did, but seeing none of the results.
You see, back in my day, we actually went on dates, and we weren't accusing each other of being... I don't know where I'm going with that.
Lost. What can they provide? And as I said earlier, her being in a wheelchair is the protector and provider instinct taken to a extreme. And yes, it is a fantasy considering if you ask anyone who's actually in a wheelchair, they know it's not all butterflies and rainbows, and they know that it's hard on relationships.
Right.
It can be difficult on their partner.
No, literally the relationship between Bonnie and Joe. As Family Guy went on and on and on, their relationship just got worse and worse. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they can attest to something like that.
But just like in the movie, it's not shown as butterflies and rainbows. Josie feels like a burden. But towards the end of the movie, the guy takes on that burden. Not because he gets something in return, but because it's his duty. Because it makes her happy, which makes him happy in return. Loyalty, duty, virtue, acts of service, big or small. Men live for that shit. And yes, these are stereotypes. Not everyone fits into these boxes, blah, 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 blah. But
yeah, I don't necessarily fit into these stereotypes. I'm not really looking for someone to save, quote unquote. I think at the end of the day, I just want someone that I can be with for the rest of my life. Simple as that.
For the most part, it's true. When many men look at this relationship, that is what they see. And a lot of modern women are looking at this relationship and being disgusted because in a way, it's the complete inverse of the strong, independent woman they've been sold. They've been told they need to be. The modern woman crafted by modern Disney for modern audiences.
You see, Luann Platter was a proud, ignorant woman, and nothing is going to change that.
Unlike the Hollywood-crafted modern woman, this woman does need her man. She is not strong and she's not independent, at least physically. This doesn't mean she's like an empty vessel with no thoughts or freedom. No, in fact, in the movie, Josie does roll away from him a few times. It is a fantasy not because of a power imbalance, but because the man has a tangible purpose, and the woman is willingly and lovingly letting him fulfill that purpose.
Because I can depend on you. I know that if I ever
Am I gonna get copyright struck for this?
feel frightened, I can just reach out to you.
Men simply want something good to die for, to make it beautiful to live. This manifests in a lot of ways, but the
I've been wanting to reference the song from Mulan, A Girl Worth Fighting For, because that pretty much embodies what the male fantasy could and in some ways should be.
most common is having a loving partner and or a family, something unobtainable to many people nowadays. So yes, literally one of the most normal things ever is becoming a fantasy. Sad. Also, men will deny this, but they absolutely have a biological clock. It may not hit in your teens or your 20s, but one day you're going to have a dream. You have a little daughter making you pancakes with your wife in the morning, and you're
that reminds me of this series of dreams that I had some not too long ago, where it was either I who had a baby, or it was my parents who had a baby, and I was the one that was taking care of it. I kept having that dream over and over again where I was taking care of a baby. I don't know if you guys know this, but I tend to have some rather prophetic dreams. And if you don't know what I mean by that, well, if my channel gets popular enough, then I can tell you about at least some of my prophetic dreams.
You're not going to be able to get it out of your head. And that is the male biological clock. Everything you do, the money you make working that grating 9-to-5 job, it will all be for something bigger and more important than yourself one day. You will come home to a warm and happy home, greeted by people who care about you, and love you, and rely on you, and everything will make sense then. Until then, you'll just be on the internet, being called a misogynist, for wanting something bigger and more important than yourself, for wanting something beautiful and normal. And that is the average male fantasy. That, and 3 hot chicks at once. Hell yeah, brother, haha, you know what I'm saying? So that was that little video. Men in the comments, let me know, am I correct? Is that the average male fantasy?
Well, not for me at least, but I'm sure there's plenty of guys out there that feel that way.
Or is it not that deep? Men and women in the comments, what is your fantasy? And no, I don't mean that. I don't want to hear about how you want to be crushed by a 12-foot futa. That—
Oh, yeah, but I'm not going to tell you those fantasies. I mean, unless you guys like and subscribe.
is between you and God, not you and Shoe0nHead. I mean, what is your ultimate dream? Do you want to travel the world? Do you want a nice big family one day? Do you want to own a farm? Do you want to live in a shed in the woods and make pipe bombs? Let me know in the comments and I will see you soon with a new video.
Alright, there we go. That was certainly a video for the ages, and I'm so glad that I got to react to it. But anyway, let me know what you guys are thinking. Be sure to like and subscribe. And hopefully you watched her video before you watched mine, but regardless, yeah, a lot of guys and girls these days, they're so full of resentment and pent-up whatever from maybe something that happened to them when they were kids or even something that happened to them recently, and there's only so much that a guy or a girl can do just to find at least some form of happiness in their lives. Currently, yes, I would like to be in a relationship. I'm still quite content with being on my own for now. I'm sure one day I'll be able to find that oh-so-special someone, but until then, I guess I'll have to make do with what I've got. But until next time, I hope you guys enjoyed, like and subscribe and all that, and I will see you guys next time.